Колеги, дякую всім, хто прийшов.
Dear colleagues, thank you for coming. We continue our work in the UCMC. Our next topic is about planned provocations before the referendum to be held on April 6 in the Netherlands. Good afternoon, dear friends. I'm Dmitro Kuleba, chargé d'affaires of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, and I would like to comment on the latest dirty campaign launched against Ukraine in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, they have started the election campaign before the referendum to be held on April 6th. And here in Ukraine, we know quite well about dirty election campaigns. And during this anti-Ukrainian campaign in the Netherlands, we should be able to protect ourselves. I would like to point out to several important aspects in this relation. It's obvious that the number of provocations carried out in mass media will grow with the approximation to the date of the referendum. We expect to have a huge number of such media attacks, blackmailing attacks within 2 weeks just before the referendum. And on behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I encourage all the journalists who follow up and cover the events related to the Netherlands, to this referendum, and all relevant information. Please double check all the data and all the information which you get, because there is a very high risk of fake information. Also, I would like to encourage all the volunteers, all those people who find any fakes or any provocations in mass media related to this topic of the referendum for accession, for ratification of the association agreement with Ukraine. Please follow up this information in order to warn us. The third important statement is about our cooperation with the Dutch party. Of course, we have rather strong opponents in the Netherlands, which are supported from different channels by different forces, but we have also pro-Ukrainian supporters who will range campaign supporting the association agreement with Ukraine. In the Netherlands, we have rather powerful governmental and non-governmental structures which will start official supporting campaign for ratification of the association agreement. In the Netherlands, there is rather restrained attitude towards the government authorities, but nevertheless we could and because of this we involved some NGOs to campaigning for Ukraine. Also, we expect to have very serious counteraction, and as far as we know, there will be two major counter arguments against the association agreement. This will be the war ranging in Ukraine and corruption in Ukraine. Of course, the war in the east of Ukraine will be a strong argument to be used by the opponents of the association agreement, and it will be used by both Russia, Russian Federation, and those forces who are supported by Russia in the Netherlands. With this, I would like to give the floor to my colleague who will discuss this aspect in more detail. I'm Vadim Skібіцький, representative of the main intelligence department in Ukraine. I will continue on the topic which Dmytro described. The Russian Federation will try to stir up the situation in the east of Ukraine in order to use it in favor of Russian Federation and to discredit Ukraine in the Europe. One of the scenarios could be that they may considerably raise the number of shellings and exchanges in the hostility area. For example, from the beginning of this year, number of shellings in the east had not dropped. Vice versa, it had decreased. As of today, we have this week we have more than 200 shellings, while during the last week there was 150 shellings in general. This second type of provocations could be organizing provocations along the contact line and throughout the territory of Ukraine. This is a serious aspect, and the main intelligence department very carefully monitors the situation and carries out prevention work, and we do our best to reveal any subversive activities in order to neutralize all possible threats. In more detail about the situation in the East and possible threats existing there, we will deliver special briefing on Friday, where we will describe in more detail about the actual situation in the East. Dear journalists, do you have any questions?
The main question: how does a referendum, is this referendum really important? Why is it important? And does this agreement work if only there will be information the 6th of February? You know that now there's a temporary order, and in this respect, there's readiness of Europe and Ukraine to continue with this process. And what is the specificity? This referendum is consultative, but the policy in the Netherlands is much difficult than in Ukraine. And the politicians, they don't ignore the wishes of the voters, and there will be some political consequences. So the second element is that the law on the referendum was adopted recently, and this is the first referendum that is conducted according to the adopted law. And the politicians won't reject the views and wishes of the people, and that's why they should show that the opinion of the public is important, that this is important for politicians in the Netherlands. And two positions that are important for us, that the Netherlands support us on our European way, and they help to spread and share European values. And the second fact is that the Netherlands is presiding in the European Union, and that's why this is an important issue, and we work in this direction. And I would like to stress one moment that this referendum won't kill the association agreement, but it will create political background. If the procedure won't be ended, that it will create a political ground in order that this agreement is implemented, and the process will continue anyway. So we hope for success. We will work for this hard in order to achieve positive results, because European states, they ratified the agreement in the fastest possible way, and political situation in the Netherlands, we hope that it won't create any difficulties. This referendum is not against Ukraine, but against the EU, because they have some anti-European opinions. That's why this is an attack. For those people who initiated this referendum, this is an attack on EU, and Ukraine is just on the way. So our partners are ready for cooperation to get positive results. Thank you. And the next question. Interfax Ukraine, Garcelovai. Last week, the group of Dutch deputies, they addressed with a request to explain Russian influence on the preparation of this referendum. Do you have some more information on the Russian activity in counteracting Ukraine on its way to Europe, and positive decision in this referendum? Thank you. I know that, thank you. We know that this request was made. We know that it was accepted, and we know that the biggest advocate of proponents of this referendum, these are Eurosceptics, and also supporters of Russia, pro-Russian activists of the Netherlands, but the responsibility does not, there are Eurosceptics there, and it's evident that those Eurosceptics are supported by Russia, and that will try to ignite those anti-Ukrainian opinions. And about direct influence of Russia, of course, we know that Russians do not publish reports on the support of those forces in the Netherlands, but we monitor the activities, and we will implement counteractions. Do you have some other questions or comments? And maybe there will be some billboards, pro-Ukrainian billboards in the Netherlands. How can we get minds and hearts of Dutch people? Some measures are developed, and I won't go in details what will be done. But first, the Ukrainian side will work in the Netherlands, and also Dutch people also will help. We are in difficult conditions, but we are not alone, and they will provide public campaigns in social networks. There will be some billboards, and some events will be held of informational character, and also people-to-people contact will be established. Opinion leaders, celebrities will be present, and these will be systemic events, a well-coordinated and timely campaign in order to reach best results on the eve of voting. Thank you. And we end our press conference till the next time. And I remind